How you doing? How you doing out there, Stockton? This is KXVS.org, your community radio station. Here we are, always looking for volunteers and donations here for saving up for the tower. Yeah, we're going to go FM because we have a voice here and it's really awesome. Awesome crew, definitely good content here all the time. And today's the Tuesday edition of the Spotlight series. Today we have the Stockton Civic Theater actresses, and we'll find out what's happening with them. Okie dokie, let's just test the mics. You there? Hello?
Hello. We're here.
Hey, nice.
Good. I'm like thinking of SNL right now. It's really hard.
Right. It's always good to have good comedy. Right. So we're here sharing some insight on the theater of the Stockton Civic Theater here. Mm-hmm. And what I have here is a little night's music. And maybe we get some information on that. Let's see if we get that.
It opens Wednesday night as our preview, and then our official opening is Friday, June 15th, I believe. Yeah.
Nope. 16th.
16th, sorry.
Yep.
16th.
At 7:30.
At 7:30.
Cool. We'll get that information out. We got plenty of time to share all that stuff. So with this theater play here in Stockton, can we get a little information about what this is about?
Take it away, Sarah.
Oh, man, you're going to make me do that?
All right.
I'll be your wingman.
Oh, man. All right. So I don't know. I think you should explain it.
Okay. A Little Night Music is, it's a story based on, I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this.
Sure.
Well, it doesn't say, does it? Boy, I think I should know this. Does it? Can you read it? Because it's really little. It's based on an Ingmar Bergman play, I believe.
Movie.
A movie,
Yes.
yes.
Movie.
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
It's really, really cute.
So it's a Tony Award play.
Yes,
that you guys
written by
here.
Stephen Sondheim. Mm-hmm. The music and lyrics are by Stephen Sondheim, and it takes place back in the 1900s in Sweden. And it's about family and lost love and finding your way back through your lost love and relationships and how people handled those relationships back in the 1900s.
Wow, that's something we can definitely all relate to and see like the different time periods of maybe etiquette and
manners
and different styles of
yeah.
It's kind of like a time machine, I guess.
It
a
is.
little bit for this play.
And there's a lot of things that go on in the show that are very relevant today. It's just how they handled them back then as opposed to how they would handle them now. And it's a very smart play. It's a musical play, actually. And it's very smart, and people are going to have to listen and pay attention because there's a lot of information that's being passed out through the dialogue and through the music.
Right. So anything with Stephen Sondheim is going to be, the music isn't just a random song that's kind of just, that there's dialogue in the music.
Within the music. And that's the old-fashioned way of getting the entertainment. I mean, people soak themselves into that and really, dissect whatever he's saying. And so with the familiar songs, is there a couple familiar songs that people might recognize throughout this series of the
show?
I
think probably the first would be Send in the Clowns.
Yeah.
Send in the Clowns. Okay, so that's a very popular song.
Yes.
I remember that, and it's a nice tune.
It's a Judy Collins did it first back in the late 70s or something, and then I think Frank Sinatra did a rendition of it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Anne Murray. I could get it wrong.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but I remember growing up listening to that song and stuff.
Yeah.
And, so that's one song that people can associate that play to and stuff. And so with your acting methods, do you guys like really jump into character and then you don't leave it for a while until the show ends and you're like, or what's your like acting approach to maybe not necessarily this particular one, but in general, what is your like maybe acting approach to certain? Well, this is a musical, so definitely different than a non-musical.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah.
It's actually. It's very interesting for me, that question right now, because I typically was someone that kind of got really lost in my characters. And I think growing up doing theater, I think often who I was in real life started to be shaped by the characters I was playing, which got a little difficult. And lots of therapy, figuring out who I actually am. And I think I'm getting there. But so what's really interesting now is doing this show and understanding that I am not, like, there are elements, of course, of the characters you play that are you, that you bring to it. And then everything else you kind of shape. But So for me, it's a new thing for me to be acting and not taking Petra home with me, which is a good thing.
Your friends might go, something's a little different.
Definitely.
Something's a little different about Sarah here.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely things I relate to that I love about her. She's, she has a big song at the end that I think some people may know, especially people in the theater community. It's called The Miller's Son, but it's basically her talking about, I could marry this kind of person, and I could marry the businessman, and I could have money, and I can have kids. But in the meanwhile, I want to make sure that I have fun, and I live my life, and I try everything on, and I'm allowed to make mistakes. And then by the end, she realizes, she's going to marry for love. That, she could marry the businessman, she could marry the prince, she could marry whoever she wants that maybe society is telling her to marry, or, and she realizes by the end of the song that she's just going to marry for love and what her heart tells her to do, but she's going to make mistakes and have fun in the meantime.
Well, definitely lessons learned, and maybe some of the audience can grab some of that lessons as they kind of pick that up subconsciously or consciously as they do that.
I think especially with this show, I actually did this show in college, which is really kind of funny because like a bunch of college kids doing these different generations of characters. I mean, there's a very little girl, probably around, is she 13? Yeah, she's 13. And then there's
Madame
Armfeld, who's
in her 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really established, but she's older. Yeah.
Right, so there's all these different generations. And so to have college students who are all around their 20s playing all these roles, like, we had the skill and we had the education and we had, production value and things like that, but we didn't have the life experience. And I think what's so cool about this show is that, we've all been through.
Yeah, we're all age appropriate for our roles, really.
And so there's a lot of different lessons that are told.
So with a lot of other actors and actresses, how many people is in this production? And it's okay to throw out names out there and say,
well, there's how many of us? There's 3.
I mean, do people switch roles, do the same roles, or everybody fills in the roles? Because you're saying age appropriate and everybody's really filling in really nicely. And in
terms of... No, there's 15, 16 of us in the show, 17 of us.
Cast.
Yeah, because there's the principal actors, which are all of us, and we all have moments in the show, and then there's a group of the leader singers, which are like the narrators of the story. They either
kind of like Greek chorus.
Yeah. They'll remind you of certain things through a song, or they'll take you into the next scene through a song, and then there are the servants. So there's a lot of it's a huge cast. Yeah,
that's really neat. Everybody should at least go out and check this out.
Yeah.
And real quick, we'll do another plug. And where can people find the information about going to this play?
It's at SCT Theater. Yep, Stockton Civic Theater.org or sctlivetheater.org.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Facebook.
And we're on Facebook for sure. And we're on I believe we're on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can call the box office.
Yeah, the box office. Go ahead.
209-473-2424.
All right, we got some of that information out there. This is KXVS.org, your community radio station, and this is the Yellow Dot Spotlight Show. We're doing an interview with the Stockton Civic Theater. We have Melissa Esau here and Sarah St. Pierre. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Hey, all right. I'm doing pretty good today, folks. I always tell people, correct me if I'm wrong. Just go ahead and correct me. Anyways, so this is a wonderful thing with Stockton, and doing a little research. Melissa, you've been here doing stuff for a long time.
And
kind of a local hero. And,
no, I don't think I'm a local hero, but
well, not a hero in a sense.
Long time.
Superhero, but you know what I mean. Long time. And, and I had no idea, and I'm like, wow, I feel blessed to have you.
Oh no,
to meet you and everything. So thanks.
No, this is my pleasure. I've never done live radio, so this is exciting. Cool. No, I think my first show at SCT was I won't say the date, but it was back at the old theater on Willow and Moreau. Was my first show, and so this production of A Little Night Music is my 50th show at Stockton Civic Theater.
Oh my God!
I know I've done 50. So you can figure that out any way you want. Multiple years.
She does a lot of shows every year.
And then you started also as a little girl too at SCT.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind saying the year.
Okay, you go right ahead.
I was in Annie. I was Orphan Kate in 1993. Which was a long time ago. And the first show I ever saw, my parents tell a story all the time. I was apparently 2 years old, and I saw Oliver. And they knew that I loved music. My family's very musical. But they brought me to the show as a 2-year-old, and I'm sure people were like, oh, great, there's going to be a crying kid in the front row. And I sat in the front row, and I just stared. Like, I didn't move. I was engaged the whole time, and my parents were like, well, I guess
she's big. Yeah, she's big.
Yeah, I think I was 8 years old when I did Annie, and I have had the bug ever since.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, and I tend to like go away and come back. I went to college and came back and did a few shows with Melissa, actually.
Yeah,
She was my
I was just going to
director.
say,
Yeah.
the very first show I ever directed at Stockton Civic Theater, she was in, and then the second show I did, I was like Sarah St. Pierre. She
Yeah.
showed up like, done.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to like know her on this level now,
Yeah.
and also I'm a little older, so I feel like
Yeah.
like we can have
Really?
like a real relationship.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
so,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. And she's great.
not so like professional.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, engaging in real life, it'll show as you're acting, like just so comfortable
Yeah.
Yeah.
being with each other.
And
you know,
but it's interesting. We really don't have any scenes together in the show,
Oh, okay.
but we're there. We are in passing,
Yeah.
so it's great. And she's, and I'm going to toot your horn for you. She's a very smart actress, and she has great instinct. So she knows like ahead of time what should be done in the scene, and then if you give her a clue, she's like, okay, I know how to do that, and she just makes it happen. And it's really effortless to watch her. She's fabulous.
Wow.
Just saying.
It's in her spirit and soul, you know.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
she's
she's
two years
she's
old
the
and
whole
listening to
package.
Kate.
She's the whole
Oh,
package.
stop.
Wow, Stockton's
Stop.
definitely blessed to have.
Yeah, she
have
is.
you.
Oh my
Yeah, we're
God.
glad she
No.
came back.
I'm like, and now
Yeah.
I want to like plug you, and I'm like, well.
Well,
It doesn't hurt.
It's so true. I've seen Melissa in a few roles at Stockton Civic Theater, and this one, Jim Coleman, is
Yeah.
he's our
We have to
director.
talk about him,
Yeah,
too.
we do have to.
We have to talk
touch on
about
that.
him.
But he at one point, I don't know if you know this, but he told me, he was like, oh, I think this is Melissa's show. Like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, and I knew, because I know you and I know your abilities and I know
yeah.
you as a person, that
Yeah.
you have this depth and this insight, and you know you
Well,
just have so much
it's
talent.
the
But
age appropriate.
I stop it. No, but like I finally, like about a week ago, went and sat in the audience, and she has, you know, with the Sun and the Clown scene, she and Matt have this intense, beautiful, touching, heartbreaking scene,
it is,
and
yeah.
it's such a hard part for Desiree, and I'm not going to give anything away, but I watched, and I started bawling. Like,
Aw.
you both together, but like you're so honest, and it's just, the heart is there. It's so real. And like, and I live in Los Angeles, and I see a lot of really good theater, and you know, there's just something different about people who are, you just know that they're living real lives, you know? And so when you have that as an actor,
Yeah.
and then you bring that to the stage, there's just something different. There's magic that makes it so real.
And I think all of us in
Yeah.
the show have that, and that's, we need to talk about Jim Coleman, who is the director of the show, and we've both had a chance to work with him on many levels, and I don't know if you know the story about 3 weeks ago. We were at rehearsal, and he's walking down the stairs, and he missed a step, and he fell, and he broke his leg.
No, I'm not aware of that.
And
Blessings and prayers.
yeah, and
Healed
so
leg.
he's out of commission. So the artistic director, Dennis Beasley, stepped in to finish the show for him.
Okay.
So one thing about Jim Coleman, and he always talks about this as a director, is that whatever you're doing, whether it's a play like this or a play or a comedy, it has to be real. It has to be performed as if you are in 1900s and you are living these lives of these people, in order to make it honest and true. And that's what Sarah's talking about. I mean, I think we've all,
Yeah, the audience
We've
can
all-
feel like they're blending in with the
right.
scene
It's
itself.
like they've
Yeah.
opened up a
There's
book.
no, the book is seamless.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting how it happens. And well, he'll be at the show to enjoy it. Also, or hopefully?
Yes, hopefully he will be able to see at least some of the performances of the last weekend, because right now he's out of commission and he's working on rehabilitating his leg. But yeah, Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, what's up, guy? Man, get yourself better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you're listening, Jim.
Miss him terribly.
Right, Jim. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
But he's definitely still the heart of this show.
Yeah, he is. He is.
You always need a heartbeat of the center of everything, and it's good to have a mentor. And does he do acting too, or he does more directing now? Or
He does directing and musical directing because he's come from a professional background, doing musical conducting in New York. He actually learned the music for this show from Stephen Sondheim himself.
Wow.
And he's played for Stephen Sondheim. He's played for Sweeney Todd on Broadway. He's done national tours. I mean, opera companies. He is a professional musician, director.
Well, that's nice to have in our
Consummate.
town. I mean, it's something.
Yeah.
Somebody can actually ask him questions or something, you know. I mean, I'm sure not everybody don't go run and ask him questions. But what I meant is it's nice to have somebody with that experience that if somebody's in that genre, what a nice mentor to have in our town.
Yeah.
To have somebody that just went out there and oh man, Todd Sweeney's no joke of music. That is some intricate stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows it like the back of his hand. He just one of the things that he was doing in the very beginning of rehearsal is talking about the characters and the music and the songs as he was taught by Stephen Sondheim himself, why the song was written and why the lyrics are the way they are. And it's all very well crafted. So there's not a wasted moment in the show. It's all right there. It's really beautiful. I hope people do come out and see it because it's not a well-known musical. So it will be an enjoyable evening of theater.
Well, definitely, I'll be pushing for it and sharing everything, and my wife and I go out and check it out and have a good evening.
Yeah.
You know, get more connected with the Stockton
Yeah.
Civic Theater. I know it's there, but gosh, it's right in our backyard, and what a wonderful landmark we have. And then the girls are always out there acting and doing your thing, which is nice.
Yeah.
And so, with all the different generations, what is a common favorite actor and actress that y'all have, and maybe some that have influenced you through the different time eras?
Oh boy.
That's a good one.
Mine's Mel Brooks. That's what I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I always throw that out there because that guy is just funny.
I think that would be on everybody's list. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Carol Burnett for me.
Yeah. I'm a huge Christine Ebersol fan. She did Grey Gardens and she did 42nd Street and she was in Tootsie and she's done a lot of different things, but right now she's in on Broadway with Patti LuPone in War Paint, but she's just one of many. I don't know. What about you? Who are your?
Well, it's funny. Like I'm drawing a blank right now, unfortunately, with more theater actors right now. But like the first person like that I thought of, like somebody who I love watching their journey and the projects that they take, and also just who they are as a person and the way they present themselves and what they want out there. I love Kate Winslet.
Oh yeah.
And it's something. I mean, I'm just we're getting on the like in a therapist's office right now. But if it's somebody who's as a woman in this industry, and
very
I
powerful.
still struggle with weight, like just that she has such a positive self-image that she loves to put out there about really owning who you are and not being afraid of putting that out there, and I think she's an incredible actress and role model, and
she is positive too. Good positive role model. That's what I was thinking.
Absolutely.
Too.
Oh, and she's amazing. And I love that she's just like, you know what? Don't let anybody tell you can't do it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, nice. So as she does Broadway and TV acting, have you ever thought about doing anything of the crossover? As some of them do that, like John. I can never say his last name. John Lithrow or.
Oh, Lithrow. Yeah.
Because I like how he's one of my favorite actors, but he goes back and forth from theater to acting. But do you ever thought about going from like a kind of a TV-ish setting, or from back and forth? How some of those people do that? I know it's kind of off the wall question, but it's all right.
It's not really. I actually live in Los Angeles right now. I work for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which is it's the organization that puts on the Oscars every year. So I see a lot of actors and people coming through that do both TV and film and theater, and there's I actually see a lot of people from New York coming to LA now because they know that they can do theater there, but also do commercial work and do small bits and like TV and get to
just
have
work.
the money and work.
Yeah,
exactly.
just work. Yeah.
I actually started doing some on-camera stuff since I've been there, and I was actually talking to Dennis about it, that it's interesting doing it because on screen it's kind of like when you're acting on screen you have to have more of the imagination because the audience is going to be able to see everything, whereas like on stage you can't have a plane coming in
right,
and like you're on the ocean. It's like you have the sound effects, and the audience watching a theater show has to kind of have more imagination. And so it's interesting to do both because it gives you some perspective and kind of enhances any kind of acting that you do.
And you work out of order too, right?
And you completely work out of order. And you can do it over and over again. And like, so like a director can be right there, and it would be something in rehearsal that maybe as a theater actor you would nail in rehearsal, but then you get on stage and things are different. That, the audience may not see it the way that somebody else saw it, or maybe you have a cold that day, or like whatever. It, for me, like, it is fun doing things on camera, and it is always very different to watch yourself and do that kind of thing, but there's just nothing like live theater. It's different every single time. There's a specific magic that happens because of the audience, because of the chemistry that specific cast has. Like, whatever you witness as an audience member on stage, it will never, ever, ever be exactly that way again.
That's what I like about the live and improv a little bit outside what happens. And that is the magic, and I like it when the cast and the audience can engage as it is, again, seamless. It's just one room. And so with this play, and other times when something happens, do we go, well, I know I do, because I play music. Improv. Is there room for improv when something's kind of structured, or do you play around with it and kind of let the audience know, like,
I would say no.
Not in this.
Not in this show, but I know in certain types of shows, if it's a really broad comedy, maybe a British farce, you could get away with those moments. And I've seen it happen. I've been in a show where things have happened and they've just run with it, and it's really funny. In this particular show, it's so specific that if something were to go wrong, and it could be a costume, I mean, you just have to make whatever happens work within that without breaking your character, without stopping the momentum of the show. But this show is not a show for improv at all.
Well, as you were saying, that it just hit me. It's a Tony Award-winning show. People, so kind of got to stick with it. But that's a wonderful thing. It's like an art piece, masterpiece. And bringing it back to life.
Yeah, sometimes things do accidentally go wrong, and then you just, if you're experienced enough, you know how to like just go with it. And you never know. You never know what's
So on the set, is there any like practical jokers out there that kind of makes you laugh each day? Like, oh no, or
I'd
like fun.
There is, but
good times, of course.
But when we're off stage, there is.
Of course, off stage. No, on stage, it's definitely serious time.
Yeah, we do laugh and have a good time and.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but then there's time when we have to focus and be in the moment. And I think for that 2.5 hours, we're all really like engaged in what we're doing. And then, because I think everybody in the show is so experienced. They know what it takes to get through that 2.5 hours.
Well, and that's what's also kind of cool about this show too, is it's not just like, different like ages, generations, but there's also different generations of Stockton Civic Theater.
Yes.
In the show, which is so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So we're all learning something from each other, and we all have different experiences, and it's really, I keep using that word, magic.
Well, it is. I mean, it's the magic of theater.
It is.
And it is because back in the day, before we had all this fancy TV and all these special effects, I mean, that is the rawness of entertainment and acting and getting things across, whether it was political or for fun or comedy. That's an age-old tradition of gosh, who knows how far that's gone back. I'm sure, maybe you know better than I do, but but it's such great entertainment that people can really soak themselves in. Like my father, when he watches all this stuff, you can't budge him because his mind just goes right into the picture of any plays that he would see, and it's always amazing to watch. I'm like, man, he's deep into it,
Well,
But-
and that says a lot about what he's watching. The people on stage are doing what they're supposed to be doing in order to get that engagement and keep everybody, focused, and so that's great. Yeah.
So any helpful hints for anybody who's listening that's going to start swimming their way through some of this acting and all this different styles of entertainment, that the young kids are just kind of give them something positive to grab onto. Maybe there's one or two that really is out there, and when they see what their parents, like you, Sarah, for a perfect example, like parents took you to a show and
Yeah.
it hit you really hard. But some of those younger generations, are there any good fun advice?
I was watching a panel actually with a bunch of animators that were talking. They were talking about like Zootopia, Moana, and all these movies, and they asked the same question: do you have any advice? And it really hit home for me that they all said basically like there's always going to be people that tell you don't do it. There's always going to be people that try to say, well, you like acting, maybe you should be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being a lawyer. It's just that there's always going to be someone that's trying to tell you to be something a little more practical. And I would just say to those kids, follow your heart.
Yeah.
For every person that was told they shouldn't do it, like that.
They persevered, and they're doing it.
Yeah. And like you're never gonna know unless you do it. And you have to follow and do what you love
and try.
Yeah,
for sure. You got to feed your soul too, because that's what's speaking out a lot of the time.
Right. And you might fall into something else, but if you're following your heart and you're doing what you love to do, that you'll land in the right place.
Whatever that is, yeah, whatever that is. And I think for families or for parents like your parents, just expose your kids to all the arts that are out there, whatever that is, music.
It's so important.
It's just because something will click. I used to teach at a school that was an arts infused school, and it was the most fun you could have as an educator, and the kids loved it. They loved it.
All those little bright ideas.
Yeah, I mean, it's if we can say anything and be a little bit political right now, the arts are super important, and they need to go back in the school and stay in the school, and that's all I'm saying about that.
And being in Stockton for a long time myself, it's really nice that this recent year and a half, there's a huge explosion in our town and kind of elsewhere of the art scene. And for me as a musician, Sacramento is allowing street busking and hopefully, so because they used to kick us off streets. Like, what are you doing here? I'm trying to just jam. But it's wonderful that all the arts are starting to explode, which is an interesting phenomenon that's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it, which is really nice that Stockton has another wave and another chance that we all get to embrace each other through the different arts and stuff.
It's great. It's been taken off, and I love all of the new things that are happening, and the for lack of a better word, the expos that are out there for different things. Great. Yeah.
A lot of new things happening, a lot of new adventures. And so we're here at KXVS.org with the Yellow Dot Spotlight Show. This is the Tuesday edition, and we're spotlighting on the Stockton Civic Theater with the show here, A Little Night Music, which is a musical. So we get that on the camera again.
Yeah.
Real slow. So usually I have, I don't know what I usually have doing this. Close, far. All right, so anyways, I was having fun with that. But come on out, and the dates are, they're going to run the show June 14th through July 9th. And directed by Jim Coleman, which we are going to send his blessings. He gets better and stuff. Because Jim, the heartbeat, man, the heartbeat.
Yes, he is.
Well, that sounds great. It sounds like a good show here. We'll wrap this one up here.
Good.
And guys, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Thank you for having us. It was fun.
And as shows come up, we'd definitely love to have you come back periodically. There's my show and other spotlight shows, and of course other DJs here that have wonderful content. And we're just all hanging out here at the community radio station. Okay, so let me find some Yellow Dot music, because that's kind of the perks. get to play my music, and then we'll fade out. And y'all have a great afternoon.